We are all curious about the world. From one country to another, we want to find answers to questions like, how different are we? Or how similar are we? But lots of things are hindering us from getting the answers, like the biased media, the stereotypes, or simply being too busy with our daily routines. I was like this until one day I decided to quit my job. I came up with the craziest travel plan in my life. 90 days, 13 countries, 3 continents, 1 solo traveler, as a female. Before this, my longest travel record was 20 days for 3 countries, all in Europe. But what really differentiates is the purpose of this trip. Instead of being a tourist, I want to be an observer this time. To observe the uniqueness and similarities between cultures, to make friends with people I meet on the way and ask them what they think about their culture and ours. I started in Dubai, where I had lived for 3.5 years. My first stop was Jordan. Jordan is a young state that occupies an ancient land, one that bears the traces of many civilizations. The ancient biblical kingdoms of Moab, Gilead, and Eden lie within its borders, as does the famed red stone city of Petra. I landed in Amman and made 2 friends at the hostel next morning. Together, we took the local bus from Amman to Petra. Traveling with others is the most interesting part of a solo trip because you got to hear their stories, learn their ways of doing things, and if lucky enough, even taste the food they prepared. I can still remember how beautiful the sunset was when we finally reached Petra after 4 hours of ride. I bet I still remember it too. In the morning of the day I visited Petra, the German girl in my hostel room sang a birthday song to me. 这好像已经是我第2次找错路了。That was my 27th birthday, the most special birthday I've ever had. I spent the day alone, but not accurately alone. I visited Petra with the company of a local guide, shared lunch with this grandma after being lost 3 times on the track, and saw the candles lit up for Petra in the night. Welcome to Jordan! From Petra to Wadi desert, I took the local bus again. It was a very early morning, and without me asking, the bus owner offered me so much of his own food.
But be careful.
Wadi has been the filming location for many famous movies because of its unique landscape and extreme weather conditions. But for me, watching those movies many times can't be riding a jeep with the local Bedouins in the desert once. No, it's not about the mysterious tag of Bedouins. It's the finding that they're also common people who need to work hard to support their families that touched me. At the campsite, I met Olivia and Luke, who just got engaged one day before we met. On the dunes of Wadi we watched the sunset. Why heavy?
We eat a lot of cheese, bread, potato.
That's why it's heavy. Under the starry night sky, we were chatting about many things. They shared their joy of engagement with me, and I shared the excitement of this ongoing adventure with them. My last day in Jordan was spent with my old friend, Anas. He took me to all his favorite food places in Amman, from the elegant cafe next to Amman Citadel to a small falafel shop. Jordanese people are warm-hearted and family-oriented, and Anas is just like that.
You try to make something that is culturally fit. You need to think of the people, their behaviors, and the culture, and how they think to do something that people would actually like.
Chinese. Yeah, let's make a competition on that. Food can connect people quickly. Before leaving Amman, I made the local cuisine Maqluba with the staff and friends I met at the hostel. It was my first time preparing Middle Eastern cuisine, and I was glad this food brought smiles to people. very curious.
Just sunglasses.
I know, it's also glasses.
They help me see, but people think...
Yes! Woohoo! Yeah, look at that! Oh my god! Look at how happy this dinner has made people. Like it?
Compliments to the chef.
Yeah. The glory belongs to dinner, not us. I've never seen a country that can be as complicated as Egypt. There are so many layers, from the pharaonic Egypt to the urban Egypt in the Hellenistic world, to one of the cultural centers in the Arab and Islamic world. I heard many comments about the chaotic Cairo before, but when I was there myself, I understood it's not necessarily chaos, it's a mixture of traces from different civilizations that once occupied this land. It's a unique charm. I made a random tour across Cairo with the metro, saw the busy markets, crossed the old streets, and ordered a local meal from a menu that I didn't understand at all. I was very shy with my camera, which made me miss recording many treasured moments when I received kindness and surprises from the local people. But the pictures and videos I took could already make a good memory of Cairo. Good station. Thank you very much for the help. Thank you very much for the help. When looking at the pyramids and facing the exquisite creations from 4,000 years ago, I felt that I knew too little about the world and us human beings. Where were we from? When did the civilization start? How different or similar are we from them 4,000 years ago, apart from technologies? On the overnight train from Cairo to Aswan, I met Garo from Canada, who is still exploring the world in his 70s.
Go by yourself. In his private car, if you like that. But
Gary and I went on a same-day trip to Simbel. It was a very demanding tour. We needed to get up at 4 a.m. and it took us almost 4 hours to ride from Aswan to Simbel. But the moment we saw the temple and the rock-cut statues constructed more than 3,000 years ago, all the suffering paid off. When looking at the clearly carved faces of Ramses II and his family, I felt that they were not too far away or different from us. This exactly explains why I started this journey. At Simbel, Gary was talking about his first impression of China 30 years ago, when KFC was still a new thing in Beijing.
I figure typical Chinese food. And for me, typical Chinese food sometimes is hard to take, you know?
Oh.
But they all wanted to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. So we all went to Kentucky Fried Chicken. And the thing they liked the most was the mashed potato.
3 decades have passed, and KFC is now in almost every city in China. We can be quite speedy in absorbing new things. But how about forgetting the past? I met many proud Egyptians on my way. But sometimes, being proud of one's culture and being acquainted with it can be two different things. In Luxor, I met Barry, an Egyptologist who visited the Valley of the Kings with me. Barry has studied the history of ancient Egypt for more than 10 years.
Learn more about our history. What happened in the long period that was forgotten Egypt? We did not even learn history in school. So how do we know about our own history? We only studied that much.
I still remember when I asked my ex-colleague about the aesthetics of Egypt. He said it's really hard to define the Egyptian style because there are so many aspects of it in different periods in its history.
This is the palace wing and another side Nile wing. And we have a 3 restaurants. The famous one 19.
Well, Egyptian, it's only the pharaonic era.
Okay.
Because anything that comes after that will be more of the Islamic era. So it could be, let's say, the Islamic Egypt. So they have their own architecture style, yes, which is obviously very nice, of course. So you can say it's Islamic Egyptian or Egyptian Islamic.
We teach our children how to read and write holographic in school.
That's good.
Ancient Egyptian language.
That's really good.
They learn it now. They learn in every part of schools, every year in school, they add more history to the child. So by the time he graduated, he understands enough.
My ex-colleague saw that the so-called Egyptian stuff had already been replaced by Islamic, while Barry believed that the heritage of ancient Egypt is reviving slowly with the efforts made by modern Egyptians. Recent scientific research shows that the ancient Egyptians were genetically distinct from the modern Egyptians. But would it really matter? To me, there's no such pure culture. Every culture evolves with the interaction with foreign impact. It exists as long as there are people trying to inherit and develop it. China and Egypt are both countries with long histories. Do proud Chinese people really know inside out about Chinese culture? My time in Jordan and Egypt has made me learn and reflect so much. Then how about the world on the other side of the globe? After saying bye to Egypt, I stepped onto the longest transit journey I've made so far. It took me 3 days, 3 international flights, and 2 overnight layovers in Paris and Mexico City to travel from Egypt to Cuba. When landed in Havana and breathed the air there, I knew a new chapter of my adventure had begun.